Welcome to our newest episode of the Lebanese Physicians Podcast. And today our topic will be no fuel, no problem. How doctors in Beirut still make it to work despite the fuel shortage. And our guest today is Dr. Zaki Sleiman, who I actually know very well. I worked with him at Rizq Hospital when I was in Lebanon, and we always shared stories about marathons and Ironman and who's faster and who's not. But I can say I'm faster than him in running right now. So Dr. Sleiman graduated from USG, then went and did two fellowships. The last one was in laparoscopy in Germany, and one other fellowship in France. And he moved back to Lebanon in 2014. And currently, it's actually in between Switzerland and Lebanon and works in multiple other countries. He's speaking to us today from Kuwait. Zaki, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Zaki, I contacted you. I was like on social media, and then suddenly I see a picture of you wearing your biking clothes and carrying a baby, having delivered a baby after biking to the hospital. So can you tell us a bit about this story?
You know, I always said that even if I would have created or invented super extraordinary cosmic surgery that I took a Nobel Prize for, I wouldn't have had that fame, and I wouldn't have gone on Al Jazeera and Al Hadath and Al Arabiya and Sky News. And so it was only just by taking a picture after taking my bike for 10 kilometers from my house to the hospital that I got all this fame on the social media and international channels. That's crazy, man. No?
Actually, it went viral. I mean, things with these days, things go viral very quickly.
So, in fact, for me, you know me, I'm a cyclist. I'm a triathlete, and that was not the first time I take the bike to the hospital. So a lot of people, they ask me, what did they say when they saw you coming with the cycling outfit to the hospital? What did the team say? What did the patient say? So I told them, they said nothing. They said, you're coming on your bike. Because for them, that's something normal. That's something that I usually do. So it was not the first time. And some people, they asked me, how could you come from Ain Saadi to Rizq on the bike? Man, it's only 12 kilometers. So if my bike could talk, the bike would told me, come on, man, are you taking me out for a ride of 10 kilometers? Go running. So for me, that was a small ride. But yeah, so this is what happened. In fact, I was traveling before. I arrived the night before the C-section, and I woke up in the morning. I saw that I have only a little bit of fuel in my car, and I did not have the time to manage, because, you know, now in Beirut, you have to manage. It's a whole program and planning to get your fuel. So I did not have time for that. And I said, okay, I just take my bike. I don't need to take my car. I took my bike. I went to the hospital, took a shower, obviously, because some stupid people on social media, they were wondering, how could I make the surgery with the cycling outfit?
Yeah, I saw that actually.
because they don't know that in hospitals, shower does exist. So I took my shower, I made my cesarean section, and just before I left, I thought it's good to take a picture with the baby, because it's nice for him to have it as a memory in the future. So when he will grow up, maybe he will see the picture, and the parents will tell him that, look, you were born in a time where your doctor took the bike because he had no petrol in his car. So it would be a nice memory for the kid. So I took the picture. And, you know, I'm not an artist. I just put the phone like this. I made a selfie, and I posted on my Facebook. And my Facebook is a private Facebook, so it's not a page. So it's not something that I can boost or I can advertise. And this was not the first picture, as you know, that I post on my Facebook. I always post pictures on Facebook, and I even had much funnier and much more beautiful pictures on my Facebook. So I posted the picture on Facebook with the note that I wrote, that keep this picture, little baby, whatever. One day your parents will tell you the story. And I just left, and I kept going on my day. I went to downtown because there were a group of small kids called Iron Kids. They were training for Iron for the triathlon. So I was doing a testimony for the last Ironman I did. And then afterwards, I had to go to my office to do some papers, and then to Tabarja because I needed to see a friend of mine. I went to Tabarja. We had lunch. We went to the beach, and then I rode my bike back to my home. So it was in total a long ride of 80 kilometers, which is still 80 kilometers. For somebody who's doing Ironman is still a fun ride. And until that time, I had no idea what's going on the social media because my phone was off. So I arrived home. I opened my Facebook because I'm not so much active on Instagram, and I saw thousands of notifications. And I was scrolling, and I only see my picture. I thought, what the fuck? Maybe I post the picture many times on my Facebook. Am I so stupid? And I was scrolling. That's not possible. I don't see any other post. It was only my picture. But then I realized that this is not me. This is my picture shared by everyone in the country, every single site in the country. And then when I opened my normal line, I started to realize that everyone is calling me to tell me that, look, Zaki, your picture is getting crazy viral on the social media. So that was it.
Yeah. So basically, it's true. So you came to the hospital by bike because you did not have time to go fill up your car with fuel, because that would take you like 2.5 or 3 hours to fill it up, right?
Exactly.
And then you posted your picture, and that's it. I mean, I'm one of the people who shared your picture. Actually, I didn't necessarily share it on Facebook, but then I made a copy of it and shared it on Twitter.
Okay.
She went viral that way. And so we talked about it, like you came up with the idea of the photo. You just like went in the OR, and then you're like, let me take the picture with the baby and show it to everyone. Can you tell us a bit about the fuel crisis in Lebanon? Like how is it affecting doctors there and nurses in general, I guess?
Yeah, now, I left Beirut a few days ago. The situation was getting a little bit better, but I can tell you about the week when I took the picture, because that was one of the worst week in terms of shortage. So the fuel stations were opening for like a few hours per day, and you cannot even get a place for the line because there were already lines the night before. So people, they were going there, parking their cars, okay, making a line of at least 1-2 kilometers during the night, and they come in the morning and they sit in their cars just waiting. And most of the time, the fuel station do not open, so they just keep the cars in the line. And when you are lucky, you arrive, because sometimes you make the line for like 2 hours or 3 hours, and then when you arrive to the petrol station, they will tell you, look, we don't have petrol anymore. So that was the situation. And this story of priority for the doctors, that's not 100% true. Some petrol station, they were giving this kind of priority, but most of the petrol station did not give that. And personally, I wouldn't do this. After you see the news and you see all the fights and the shooting on the petrol station, I'm not so stupid to go to shortcut the line and get there and find some crazy man waiting for 2 or 3 hours and see me shortcutting him, and maybe he has a gun, maybe he will go out and shoot me. So why would I do this at all? Yeah. So this was the situation at that week. Now, before I left the country, شالوا الدعم. It means that the price of the 20 liters went from 100 something thousand Lebanese lira to 200 something, 260, 270. So if you want to fuel your tank, you're talking about like 700 or 800,000 Lebanese lira, which is like 70% of the normal salary of a normal Lebanese citizen.
Not the whole salary, actually. Like if you take the minimum wage, it's even higher than the minimum wage to fill up your tank with gas.
Exactly. So that's why there were not so much long lines anymore.
That's the main way people get to work. I mean, there's no good public transportation in Lebanon, so the main way to get to work is by car, or I guess by bike.
Yeah, and you asked me about the team. The problem, the team. I mean, we were obliged at LAUMC to reduce the capacity of the operation theater because the team were not able to come to the hospital because of the shortage of the fuel. So I always said in my interviews, even if they give priority for the doctors, if I arrive to the hospital and if my patient manage to arrive to the hospital, what do I do with my patient at the hospital? If I don't have a nurse, if I don't have a cleaner, if I don't have a man at the reception, if I don't have the security, if I don't have the whole team of the hospital, the billing man. So it's a whole team. You cannot say, okay, I give the priority for the doctors. Yeah, and the others, what do I do by my own at the hospital?
Even the people who clean the operating room theater, right? Like after you finish your surgery and you want to turn the room around, you need people to clean it.
Exactly. They are even more important than anyone. You know, I mean, the man who is putting the patient on the bed, he has to be there. And every single person, you know, in the operation theater, I'm talking in my position as a surgeon. Every single person in the operation theater has its own role, and if it's not there, we cannot proceed. It's as simple as that. That's why we reduced our capacity. We were working in a crisis mode, like in the Corona time. So only emergencies, no elective surgeries, no nothing. So
is it back to normal now? Like the fuel crisis is behind us?
Yes, now they are back, plus or minus. I would say, I mean, after my story and after all the interviews I made on the local and the international channels, the third day we got an email from LAUMC that the hospital is providing fuel for the employees.
Wow.
Yes.
That
I don't know what
very
happened.
big.
I don't know how they managed, who gave them the fuel, but yeah. So it was not for nothing. The propaganda, or I don't know, some people they call it fake propaganda because they thought that I'm doing this in purpose to make propaganda for me, for myself. So yeah, this fake propaganda, it was at the end it had some benefit for at least for the hospital.
Because I saw some comments actually, now that we're back to this, on your Facebook site saying that there's no way you delivered a baby in your bicycle clothes. And they were like
yeah. You know, when something goes that viral, you will find good commands, bad commands. Yeah. So for me, no. I mean, if I want to make a propaganda for myself, I would make it about the advanced laparoscopic surgeries that I'm doing. I'm traveling the world to make demonstrations for the surgeries. I'm the youngest consultant in the region for Karl Storz, which is the leading manufacturing company for laparoscopic instruments. You know, I'm an instructor at the European Academy for Gynecological Surgery. So I have 27 publications as a first or last author. So I have materials to advertise. So if I want to advertise myself, I don't advertise myself as the doctor going on the bicycle to the hospital. Plus, I'm out of the country, you know, I already left the country. I'm not doing so much activity in the country. I'm not counting on my income in the country. So for those who think that I am the competitor of them and I'm stealing the patient, no, man, the whole country is behind me. It's not that was not the intention of the picture.
And for people who don't know, I mean, we're just talking about it. Your wife is Swiss and she's living in Switzerland, and basically that's where you're based right
Exactly.
now. So yep. I mean, you try to have her live in Lebanon, but I mean, if you compare, she went back to Switzerland.
Yeah. Look, when we decided to choose a place to live, I told her, look, what do you earn as a pharmacist in Switzerland? 6,000, 7,000. Come to Lebanon. I give you a house. I give you a car. I give you 7,000, 8,000, and just live your life. And you know, she's a Swiss. She's pragmatic. She's smart. So she simply accepted the offer. I mean, why would she work anything when she can get this amount of money and just enjoying the life? And when the crisis started in Lebanon, one day in the morning at breakfast, she told me, look, I have a family plan. I told her, what? She told me, how much do you earn? I told her, in Lebanese lira or in US dollars. She told me, no, in US dollars. I told her, best case scenario, 1,500. She told me, look, you come to Switzerland, I give you a house, I give you a car, I give you $3,000. Do nothing, just enjoy your life.
The role suddenly turned.
So, and I'm not very stupid. And I'm not Swiss, but I'm also pragmatic. And I accepted the offer and we moved to Switzerland.
Not a bad place to live.
Yeah.
So one more question I have for you is, we talked about the fuel shortage. So have you noticed, I mean, you do laparoscopic surgeries. Have you noticed with the economic crisis in Lebanon, has there been a medical supply shortage for you in your operating rooms and operating room theater?
In fact, there was like two stages, if you want, in the shortage of medication and instrument. So at one point, when we did not have the fresh dollars, we could not import things anymore. So we were in shortage of medication and in instruments. So this was the first period of the crisis. But then later on, I don't know how, but people were able to import things. The problem is that the crowd, the normal crowd, is not able anymore to afford the materials. So, for example, I'll give you a very simple example. When I do laparoscopic hysterectomy, I use an instrument which is called ligature. Okay, ligature is a disposable instrument which costs normally around $1,000, and this is not covered by the insurance, not covered by the Social Security, and the patient has to pay $1,000. So normally $1,000 used to be $1,500,000. Okay, now $1,000 is like around 20 million, 18 million. So you're talking about the salary of a normal employee for a year just to afford one extra instrument in a surgery. So that's we're talking about a crazy number. So the problem is that people will still able to go do this doing the surgeries, but the high-end surgeries, the advanced surgeries will be only for the rich people. Another example for that the normal delivery, for example, when people used to deliver حساب الضمان, Social Security, okay, they used to pay a difference of $300, which was like 450,000
euros.
450,000. Yeah. So now the difference of Social Security for a woman who is coming to deliver is around 8 million. And for a C-section is 12 million.
These people are either out of work or their salaries have not increased enough to accommodate for this change in prices.
Yeah, the problem is that the biggest part of the Lebanese population is they are employed in the government, and in the government the salaries are still the same. I give you a simple example. My mother, who is working since 20 years in the government, still earn 1,800,000 Lebanese lira, which is a little bit more than $100.
Even life savings are much less now because they're probably mostly in liras too.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess the medical supplies are there, but the problem is, are you able to afford doing the surgery? Even if you have health insurance, you still have to pay the difference for the prices of the equipment.
No. Now we're facing a major issue with the health insurance, because the health insurance, a big part of them, they took their money on a rate of the old rate, like 1,500. And some of them, they took the money from the customers on a rate of 4,000. But the problem is that the hospital is buying the instrument and providing itself with materials on a very high rate. So when they ask the insurance to pay them on that rate, the insurance said, we don't have the money to pay you. And this is the same for us. For example, we are still earning from the insurance on the rate of 1,500 or on the rate of 4,000. So for example, when I go and do a delivery now, I can earn with some insurance, like what used to be $300 and 450,000, now it's equivalent to $50 or even less. So now I go for a C-section or for a normal delivery for $50. That's crazy. So what happened now, there was a clash between the insurances and the hospitals, mainly the big hospitals. And now the problem is that the hospitals, they are about to take a decision that they do not accept insurances anymore. So the patient has to pay cash, they get a bill, and they go and refund from their insurances, which is also crazy.
The people who don't have children outside the country or who don't have work outside the country, I mean, there's no way they can afford medical care anymore.
No, not at all. I mean, they will shift. They will shift. I think now the trend will be like this. Most of the population will shift to the public hospital. They have no other choice.
Public hospitals are already overstretched, as we hear from like Rafi Hariri University Hospital and others. They're very overstretched at this point with very low medical supplies and even like electricity wise and fuel wise and everything else.
Exactly.
So so I guess we're talking about a failure of the healthcare system because it's not taking care of its people, right, at this point. So what do you see as the future prospects, I guess? How will things get better? Because I think they will get better at some point, but how will they get better? I don't know. What do you think?
That's a difficult question, man. And honestly, I'm hopeless because even if it gets better now, what will be the situation later on? Look, I mean, we were born at the time of the war, right? And our parents, they survived. They struggled. They survived. We studied. We traveled. We qualified, and then we invested in this country. And what happened after 40 years? We're back to point zero. What happened to our parents? So they survived the war. They struggled all these years, and they are back again to point zero. So even if now they support us as a small economy, you know, I mean, few millions of dollars you can support this country. Even if they support us as a small economy, and if things get back to the normal economically, who can guarantee that after 30 years or 20 years, I will not face the same fate like my parents? Because the culture of the people, it's still the same. The people, they still believe not in a country, they believe in providers, the political parties, and that's the issue. It's not the economy. The economy follow the politics, and as long as we population, we are not acting as citizens in a country, we're acting as customers in a private company, that we will face the same fate every time. That's why I think it's hopeless.
Can make some changes in the elections that are coming up soon.
You think so? I don't think so. I don't think so because we are a minority. I mean, we are the people who are not following any political party. We are a minority. I don't think we are that majority that can make a change, and we are not going to the election. So first we have to go to the election. Second, we have to elect. And even if you can bring some new deputies to the parliament, but what do you do with all the parties? Because their followers, they will go to the election, they will elect 100% of the same person. So if you bring 10 new deputies, what do you do with the 110, the left over? So exactly. And believe me, if your food, if your employment, if your healthcare provider, if everything you need in your life, and now the problem is that they lower the expectation of the people. So now they used to buy the people with the big stuff. You know, I can send you to a university in Europe or in Russia to study and just vote for us. I can give you a better class in the insurance. Just vote for us. I can let your or whoever from your family in a good position in the government just get the ID of our party. But now people, they have lower expectation. You can buy them. I can give you some petrol. I can give you some food. I can give you some medication for your father. Just vote for me. I can give you electricity. So the price of the Lebanese, I mean, unfortunately, I'm saying this, but now the price of the Lebanese voice in the election is getting much cheaper.
Thank you for this podcast. I think it was great actually seeing you again and talking to you. And I think it was a simple act that you did. All you did was take a picture with the baby you just delivered in your biking clothes, saying that I bike to work because there's no fuel. But I think that picture or that image that you shared on social media and that went viral is a reflection of what's happening in the country. I think it's just a reflection of the failed state of affairs that the country is in, and what people have to go to what length people have to go to make things work. So you went to significant lengths, right? You rode your bike, you delivered the baby, and then you even, to see your friends afterwards, you rode your bike to see your friends and to do other things. So just a reflection of all the failed state of affairs that the country is in.
Yeah, exactly.
But good job with this, and thank you very much, Zaki.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to talk to you again. And again, just the final message: I'm not a hero. I just took my bike to work. That's it.
And hopefully we'll do an Ironman together in Switzerland.
Yeah, sure. Or in USA. Maybe I will qualify to Kona one day.
Right.
You never know.
I'll meet you there. But you need to train me on swimming. I'm pretty bad at that.
Okay.